we should be live now. Any minute now. Any minute now. Yep, there we go. Okay, so as usual, I'm just gonna wait for people to join us, get notifications. This is a very impromptu live stream. Like I've been planning to do a live stream for the past few weeks now. It just never really happened. And today I was like, well, I need to get these pages done, so might as well just jump in on a live stream. So sorry for the short notice, but at least I know that the guys who are joining me today are the real MVPs, because you probably are in the notification squad. So yeah, thank you. So yeah, neat. I can already see people in the comment. J Gilino, Kentaro Zero, Sashak, Jordan Man. Hello to all of you. Jordan Man is asking, is this a page of volume 3? Nope. This is actually a page from Killshot, my new series starting in June in Saturday Brunch, which is a brand new magazine. So I will be working on this, but I will have another live stream very soon, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, I don't know. I will experiment a bit more with live streams, and I will be working on more Saigami pages as well, because Saigami will come back in issue 118 of Saturday AM, which is the issue coming out in April, so basically the next one. No, 17 is not out yet, is it? Yeah. Yeah, so issue 117, which is the final issue for our winter season, is coming out this weekend, and then we will switch over to the spring season. So brand new, or not brand new, but a new pack of series will run in the magazine for 3 issues in a row, and Saigami will be one of them. So yeah, it's back in April, and that will be of course volume 3, and pretty much it will be the climax of volume 3. In those 3 issues. So I'm really looking forward to it, and you will be able to get a glimpse of those pages while I'll be working on them. So yeah, stay tuned. But yeah, right now I will be working on this one. As you can see, it's already a half-done page. And like I said, it's from the first chapter of Killshot. Pretty much out of context, because no one really has an idea what's going on, who these characters are just yet. So it's kind of easier to work on these without spoiling too much. So yeah, this is actually like page 18, so not really the middle of the chapter, since it's about 52-54 pages for the first chapter. I can't remember the exact number. But yeah, some of the more actiony part of the first chapter. You possibly will have more of a sneak preview from Killshot as we go on. So stay tuned, follow Saturday AM, and we will be promoting several stuff during March Art Madness, which is a huge global fan art tournament that's going on, and it's awesome. So definitely check that out, and you will be able to get a lot of information from that. So yeah. Okay, so I will try to catch up a tiny bit on the comments, and then I will continue inking this page. Jiggelino can't wait to see it. Yeah, I'm really excited, so yeah, but for both series. I think it will be good. Gert Ostman, I'm probably butchering your name, sorry. Hello Saigami Project, how is your day, my friend? Not bad, you know. It's a nice day to stay inside. Yeah, it's pretty much the usual for me. Just trying to focus on drawing and catching up on things. So yeah, pretty much my usual manga drawing day. I hope you guys all are doing well. I know the times are kind of rough, but hopefully we'll get through this soon, and I hope that you will enjoy this stream as well. It's been pretty much about a month, or maybe even more, the last time I streamed, so I hope you will like the stream. Maybe you can draw with me. I know people like to draw while listening to my streams or looking at my streams, so that's pretty cool. I actually really enjoy it. working together with creators as well. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna start inking. As you can see, my sketches are pretty rough. But I kind of like to leave them rough and only work on the details, like the hands or the muscles and the details of the fabric, or like even the face. Like this face looks kind of off, but I'm inking, so it's really fun. Okay, I'm gonna pick a question and then I'm gonna start inking. Shabis, yeah, Shahibs. Sorry, I always butcher your name. Random question: what's your favorite anime? I have a lot. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm just not sure which inking tool I was using here. So I have quite a few. You know, it always kind of depends on what I'm watching as well. Like, it happens that sometimes the newer stuff became my favorite. What comes to my mind right now is like a top 3, and that would be Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Haikyuu, and probably Fairy Tail. I know it's trash, but still, I like it. So. But I also have a bunch of other favorites. Like just today, I started rewatching Kaleido Star, which is one of my biggest favorites as well. And honestly, it's a big inspiration for Killshot as well, so it's been super fun to go back to that anime. It's one of the few animes that actually got Hungarian dub, so I've seen it so many times, and it's quite a nostalgia ride, so I definitely really like the anime too. And probably there are a bunch of others that I've seen and really liked, and felt like, oh yeah, this is my new favorite, I don't remember in a moment, so... But yeah, definitely Fullmetal Alchemist and Haikyuu are my top spots. Okay, so... Stormrave, hi Sunny, good to see another live stream from you. Hope you're doing okay. Also, when you get a chance, listen to Let's Fly Now from the Kuroko no Basket soundtrack. Okay, that sounds cool. Is it like an old codex song? Like, I did watch the Kuroko anime, and if I remember right, most of the openings and the endings were old codex songs. There was another band for the endings. I think I have the song even in my Spotify playlist, but I can't remember right now. But yeah, Kuroko had really good music. So thanks for the recommendation. Stormwave, that's what I think of when I look at art from Killshot. Oh, okay. That sounds interesting. Now I do have a playlist for Killshot actually that I'm usually listening to when I'm working on the pages. Of course, right now it's not on because YouTube. So I don't think I ever made that playlist public. My playlist for Spotify are like available for my supporters on Patreon, but I've been working to put together Killshot a bit more, so I didn't publish that yet, but it's just about time because I think right now I have about like 2 hours worth of song on that playlist, and I'm actually feeling really good about it, so yeah. But finding new songs is always a really nice way to find new inspiration. Many times actually I'm just listening to a new song and a new scene pops in my mind. So that's always pretty cool. Let's see. Jordan, favorite anime of 2019 besides sports anime, and have you checked out Black Clover? I guess that's Black Clover season 3. The series has gotten better. What did I see in 2019? That's the big question. Like, honestly, I didn't watch too many anime in 2019. Like, there were months where I just didn't watch anything at all. I definitely won't say Kimetsu no Yaiba because that's been hyped up so much, but I didn't feel like it was that good. I still need to finish it though. Honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I hope that was a 2019, I think it was a winter season anime, was Run with the Wind. And although you said no sports anime, but you know, I'm a sucker for sports anime. And Run with the Wind was a sports anime, but it was more of like a drama. And honestly, it was a very, very pleasant surprise. Like, I was expecting a good production quality because it's from Studio IG and the same staff who worked on the Haikyuu anime. But at the same time, you know, it was about running, long distance running. So how can you make that exciting? And that anime was so engaging. All of the characters and all the drama was just so well written that it really got me hooked on. So yeah, I'm leaning towards that anime for 2019. Nothing else really comes to my mind, honestly. Definitely didn't watch as much as I used to watch in the previous years. So yeah, that's gotta be my pick. I know it's a sports anime, but that's just me. Savage Beer Arts, how my sketches look 99.9% of the time. Well, yeah, it's, you know, it saves time when you do sketches. So, JG, I know. Have you seen the show Senseiya? Nope. I'm not overly familiar with Senseiya. The only thing I've seen from Senseiya was they made an animated movie a couple of years ago. Can't even remember the proper name what it was, but that was really cool. Like, I had no idea who the characters are, what the hell was going on, but it was really good. I really did enjoy it. I think I've seen it like 3 times even. I find it engaging, and then I figured maybe I will start reading the manga, but I couldn't really find where to start it. So yeah, I kind of gave up on Saya. But I really did enjoy that movie version. So I know now it's up on Netflix, some new adaptation. But like I said, I'm not really watching as many anime anymore, so... And now I need to pull up reference image because I have no idea how these characters' hair look. Normally, I'm very cautious when I'm designing characters, but you know, some characters in the sports series will be just NPCs, so I catch my breath. So I'm just gonna open up another page where I already inked her and make sure that my artwork is consistent. So while it is opening, I'm gonna catch up a bit on the comments. Stormray, Fairy Tail is amazing. Well, don't be afraid to say it. Yeah, you know, I really like it, but at the same time, the quality went downwards by the end. So the anime was lackluster. The manga had many lackluster moments as well. I wish it had a bit more buzz, like Rave did. Okay, so that's the hair. Okay. So yeah. At the same time, you know, it's Fairy Tail still had so many great moments, and I just try to focus on those great moments, and yeah, it still has a special place in my heart. Oh yeah. Also, I haven't checked that Black Clover. Like I'm not even checking out the manga anymore. So yeah, going back to the previous question. So yeah, I gave up on Black Clover. I'm sorry. Maybe one day. Jordan Man, I know you don't like Dragon Ball anymore, but the new Moro arc is really good. Okay, like, you know, I'm not saying it's not good. I know people are really enjoying it. I know the latest movie was like a super big hype and people were really crazy about it. It's just not for me anymore. Like, maybe I'm just getting old for shonen, or yeah, but it's just I'm not really feeling it anymore. I have other preferences for stories nowadays. So yeah. But you know, I used to be a fan of Dragon Ball. Like that was one of the very first anime experiences I had. It was the first manga I ever read. So you know, it was a starting point. But now I'm older, with a slightly more refined taste, I guess. So yeah. Okay. Where was I? Reaper of Crows. Hi Sunny, glad I made it. Yeah, nice to see you guys all here. Like, I honestly wasn't expecting too many people showing up for this stream because of the very short notice. So it's actually really nice to see all of you here. You know, it's always lovely to see the familiar names. So yeah, I'm really happy you guys are here with me. Shabits, I'm so lenient when ranking anime. I literally love every anime I watch. Well, yeah, and it's kinda easy to remember the ones you watched recently. Like, yeah, you know, some anime you watched in the past might have been really great, but you just don't remember them that much. And yeah, it's always easier to focus on the present, so. 2020 in science. Do you like Kill la Kill? I don't know. I never seen it. I'm actually now mindset on giving it a try someday because I've been receiving so many comments that my main character, this girl here, looks like the main character from Kill la Kill, and I'm like, I haven't even seen that stuff, so stop saying that. So yeah, now I want to give it a try just for the fun of it. So, plus as far as I know, it has Hiroyuki Sawano's music, so I think I could enjoy that. But at the same time, it's not necessarily my cup of tea. So we'll see. It's on the someday list for me, but I'm not sure. And that someday will be. I have a lot of series that I'm like, yeah, I guess I should be watching this. I could be interested in this. But yeah, time is not so much for that. Plus recently I've been watching more like live action shows. Not anime and manga related, but you know. HBO shows, Netflix shows, things like that. Which is a nice change because it's better to learn storytelling by actually exposing yourself to a lot of genres and ways of storytelling, so that's what I'm trying here too. Reaper of Crow, Black Clover feels soulless. I did not say that. I might or might not agree with that. It was just bland for me. There are certain things about Black Clover that I give props to it, like the pacing certainly makes it feel fresh with every chapter because there's always something happening. It's like anime on speed. But yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. Guard, second project, just call me Guard, my friend. What is series you are drawing? So what I'm drawing right now is Killshot, which will be my new series starting in June in Saturday Brunch, which will be a brand new magazine from Saturday AM and Saturday PM. We already have a site set up for it, so you can get some more information. Saturday Brunch is basically a magazine focusing on LGBTQ and female-led series. So we're targeting that audience more. The series will be more josei type of category, somewhat more mature stories, somewhat more lighthearted. It depends on the respective series. But while Saturday AM is our mainstream stuff, that will be like Shonen Jump in Japan, or it will be like Cartoon Network in America. Saturday PM is our more mature, more darker type of stories, so it will be like Adult Swim or Jump Square or Young Jump. Then Brunch would be... I don't know. I actually don't know any josei magazines in Japan. So there goes my idea of trying to convert it to some. I know a few shoujo magazines like Ribbon and Margaret, but we're trying to aim for a bit more mature level of storytelling, so no shoujo-esque stuff. It's more like, more like a josei category. So Brunch will be very interesting, because it's not really anything like anything else out in the market. So it's a very, very unique magazine, and I'm super excited for it. And my series is called Killshot, and it's a female volleyball manga. So yes, it's a sports manga, but at the same time it's a slice of life drama focusing on many aspects of life and LGBTQ representation as well. So I'm very, very, very excited about this. I really do think that proper BLV the LGBTQ representation needs to be more in stories and in manga. So yeah, I'm gonna try my best with this. I actually been wanting to work on this series for a long time. And now is a chance, so I'm super, super excited. So yeah, like I said, the first chapter will come out in June, the first issue. And yeah, I'm working on pages for that. Where was I? I'm always lost in the comments. The Reaper of Crows, it feels like it's literally trying to be like multiple mangas all at once. Yeah, Black Clover, yeah. I agree with that. Like, it's just taking the good elements from everything and just shoves it together. Shahib's Black Clover is actually quite good for me. I mean, like, sometimes I really wanna just join the Black Balls. Yeah, I'm not saying that it's like complete trash or anything, and I know it has quite a fan base, and many people are liking it because it's just fun in the end, and there's a reason why it's popular. So it certainly has the audience, and there's nothing wrong if you like it. There's nothing wrong if you hate it. Everyone has their own preferences. So yeah. Jordan Man, I'm not a fan of slice of life anime, but Wetamote is pretty good and funny in a cringy way. I never seen that show. I know it's a thing. But honestly, I never gave it a try. But there are a bunch of anime I never gave a try, so you know. Leonie Kijoni. I hope I'm not too late on joining. I could use something to keep me up while driving too. No, it's actually, we only started like 30 minutes ago, so we're pretty much in time, and I hope you will enjoy the company while you're driving yourself. So yeah. Where was I? The Reaper of Crows. When it comes to character designs, I'm trying to remind myself to make the characters look less flat. I swear the hairstyles always get me. Yeah. I think when it comes to drawing characters, that's a thing that you need to learn. I think it's best to practice with figure drawings as well, you know, trying to break down the whole body into forms and shapes. The same can go with hair. I actually did quite a lot of hair studies because I felt like my character's hair don't really have a volume. It kind of feels like plastic, or doesn't really feel like hair. So yeah, I've been practicing quite a lot. So yeah, it comes down to a matter of practice. So I can definitely recommend doing a lot of study artworks. And you know, nowadays you literally can find everything on the internet, so shouldn't be anything holding you back. Damien Holmes, hey Andrea, well hello. Kentaro Zero, I'm going to get back to work. Good luck. The Reaper of Crows, Kill la Kill is one of my all-time favorites. It inspired me. Oh, that's cool. I actually heard a lot of people liking it, so I mean, it's from the same creators who did Gurren Lagann, if I remember right. So yeah, that sounds very promising actually. Gurren Lagann was good. I've seen that way behind the trend too. Like I only seen Gurren Lagann like 2 years ago. So I'm not keeping up with the trends most of the times, I guess. Reaper of Crows, I can't wait to present my project to Saturday branch. I've been getting pumped since last stream. I won't be unprepared or anything. Well, that sounds awesome. And yeah, we do have open applications for Saturday branch right now. So anyone who's interested can submit their ideas. And yeah, we're looking forward to adding new creators to our current roster. We already have some very talented artists joining branch, but you know, the more the merrier. So yeah, it's gonna be super cool and exciting. Okay, I'm gonna jump to the next panel. When I usually ink my pages, first I just do the character artworks, as you can see here, and I usually fill in the background later. I did some effect here though in the first panel, but yeah, I will come back to these later, add some speed lines, floor, stuff like that. But yeah, first I usually just focus on inking the characters or the things in the foreground. So yeah. This is another lovely and refined sketch here. Ooh, guess what? I'm actually caught up with the comments. That's new. also I mentioned that I plan to do more live streams. So my plan is basically to have some silent live streams. So what I will do is I will turn on the live stream. You won't have this small camera in the corner here, so you won't actually see me face to face, and I will turn off the microphone as well. So all you will see is just the screen as I'm driving. No music, no talking, nothing. It will be silent. So you can listen to your own music, you can listen to your own show, but you will still receive the visuals of me working on pages. So I know it's not as interactive as talking to you guys during live streams, but at the same time it will allow me to focus on the pages, make good progress, faster progress definitely, and at the same time it will give you a glimpse of my work process. Like I plan to draw complete pages like that, so these might be like longer streams. Some might be working on artworks, probably more on pages because I really need to catch up on my pages. But yeah, that's the plan. So I will do a few streams like that. Of course, the first one will be like test streams, and if you guys are liking it, it might be something I do more frequently because I'm literally drawing every day. So I just really need to press that stream button, and then you can join me in my drawing process, even though it won't be like a talkative stream. But I figure some people just want something to be in the background, or just help them focus. It actually would be kind of like the power art thing that I've been doing lately with a handful of other artists and writers in the Discord group I'm in, and those been like my most productive hours recently. So the idea is that we pinpoint a time. Let's say we're starting at 5, and at 5 o'clock everyone sends in where they are now with their work. So artists send in a screenshot of what they have at that moment, writers send in their work counts, and for the next hour everyone is focusing on their own stuff. And once the 1 hour is over, everyone posts their progress. So it's pretty cool. It lets you focus, and I find it really entertaining, and it definitely helped me focus a lot, because I was like, yeah, I have this hour, I really will focus on what I'm doing here, not checking my phone, not checking anything. It was just pure work for an hour, and actually the first half of this page that was my starting point for this video, I did that within an hour, thinking, during one of those power hours. So it definitely helped me a lot. So I figured I could do something like that during the stream, so you can join while I'm drawing, and you can work yourself if you want to. Maybe we can even create like a hashtag where you can post your progress and stuff like that. So yeah, or do it via the Saigami Project Discord server, which is a thing. I'm not too active there, so I'm really sorry about that. But it's still a thing, so it could be an option. So yeah, that's the idea. Trying to make the most out of the situation, I guess. And of course, in the meantime, I will try to do more of these regular talkative streams as well, because I still like to talk to you guys, and it's a fun way to interact. I've been busy with trying to write once better. What is one example you can think of that you have experimented while writing? That's a good question. So it's kind of tricky when it comes to villains and me, I guess. When it comes to kill shot, it's not really a story where you just have a straight up villain, because it's just like a life story. Different characters will have to deal with different issues. Some of those have human causes behind them, so it's easy to antagonize certain characters. For those characters, I always rely on real life. Be it real life experience or be it research. I'm always doing a lot of research. For this series, I looked into a bunch of psychology stuff, talked to different people. So yeah, I'm trying to make it feel realistic. So the same goes for villains. And I'm not talking about like opponent characters here, because it's a sports story, but it's not that kind of story where it's like, oh, our enemy team is the bad guys or bad girls in this case. So it's a tiny bit more complex here. As for Saigami, actually I don't want to spoil anything with the villains there. But what was my goal all the times with Saigami is to make everything a bit more morally grey. So yes, there will be a villain, but at the same time I feel like it's important to have a villain who is understandable. I really hate villains who are just bad guys for the sake of doing evil things. It's much more exciting to have a villain who has his own background and own reasons. And I think nothing is scarier when you're reading or watching a story and you go like, you know what, I actually understand the villain and I might agree with them. So yeah, I definitely would recommend to let manga and anime go and focus more on literature and shows, because they have usually better written villains than you will find in anime and manga. Now, of course, I haven't read a bunch of new series or haven't watched a bunch of new series. I heard a lot of good things about Vinland Saga's villains and stuff like that. But yeah, I find the villains in Western shows and movies are better written than what anime and manga has to offer. I'm especially thinking of a series that I'm watching right now, but I really don't want to spoil anything, so I'm not even gonna touch that. So yeah, do a lot of research and yeah, just try to widen your views on what you take in for inspiration. The Reaper of Crows, I'm usually driving during these live streams. Also, the interactions are fun. I like learning more from you and getting to know the community we have. Yeah, that's awesome, and yeah, I really do enjoy this live stream myself. Like I said, like it's super fun. It's, you know, driving can be quite a lonely activity to do, so it's always nice to just get together like this. And just do some art, have some talks. And yeah, I always find it super fun that a bunch of you guys are actually drawing while I'm drawing here as well, so it's cool. Did I save ever since we started? I can't remember. Savage Beer Arts. I gotta keep working on my short story when I finish at least one of the pages. I send it your way and see what you think. Yeah, go for it. Also, guys who are drawing manga, don't forget that Summer of Manga will be a thing again. Right now we have March Art Madness going on. It's crazy this year, so definitely check it out. Like, the first round just blew my mind. Like, I honestly didn't expect all of the entrants to be that strong, so it was crazy. So we have that going on right now, but once March Art Madness is over, Summer of Manga will start. So those of you who are looking to publish or get more experience with publication, that will be your time to shine. So, you know, it's best to be prepared. And I'm just gonna jump to these two because these are kind of boring panels here, so I'm gonna go for this one. Speed is the best when you have a villain that doesn't just wear his mustache and say stereotypical evil things, and they are an actual tangible threat and have a philosophy that clashes with the protect. Yeah. It's best if your characters have depth, so definitely no mustache wearing. Jordan, man, my favorite type of villains are the psychopaths and cult leader villains, and the villains like Frieza, the Joker, and stuff like that. Yeah, those villains are exciting. I tend to enjoy villains like that as well because they make sure you won't get bored of them. They always do something unexpected, and that on its own makes them more exciting. So yeah, I definitely like the Joker for sure. Yeah. Speed, continuing. Like I said, having a villain that has a philosophy that clashes with the protagonist is my whole philosophy while I write villains for my novel family. Yeah, that's good. Go for it. Reference image. That's one of the tricky things with new characters, especially starting a new series. I can't draw these characters from memory just yet, so I always have to open up a reference image in front of me to make sure I'm consistent with my art. Soon enough, hopefully, I will be able to draw all of these ladies by memory, and then that will make me so much faster. Savage beards are the colored margins on the outside of the panels, the cutoff points you made for yourself. Yeah, so if I zoom out, so I have this template. This is a template that we basically used for the Saturday Thanks. So I immediately use it to give the guidelines for my pages to make sure I don't have to edit too much later on. So if I raise the opacity, you can see that there's this blue line. This is the gutter area. So this will be actually the middle of the page. So this will be a left side page. Yeah, it's left side page. I think so. Yeah, this will be the middle of the book here. The yellow area is the bleed area. This is the cut mark, basically, where the yellow and the red area are meeting. So so basically the red is your bleed area because this all will be cut off. So everything in the red area possibly won't be there when the book is printed. But it's important to draw till the edges because the machines cutting up the pages can be inaccurate. Sometimes that can be like a few millimeters. So yeah, it's the basic thing. So the yellow area is where you can't have any text because of that inaccuracy of the machine. It can happen that the machine doesn't cut like here, but it cuts like here, or something like that. So it's to prevent anything important getting cut off. So you can have art in the yellow area, like you can see some of my panels are going through the edge, but you don't want to have anything important in this area. So yeah, this is the template I'm working with. Back to this panel. There we go. Leonic Johnny, I wonder what's your motivation to continue drawing. I try to keep going with my comic series, but I'm starting to get demotivated. It's kind of tricky. Well, my biggest motivation with comics was always that I wanted to tell stories. Before starting comics, I actually used to write novels of questionable quality. But yeah, I felt like I couldn't really capture my ideas and thoughts in written form, so that's why I started to draw comics, because I felt like it's easier to express myself with art and words at the same time. But yeah, it can be tricky. Like sometimes, you won't feel like drawing, sometimes you feel like you're stuck with your story, sometimes you won't feel like you're good enough, and all these things will pile up again and again and again. So my number one rule is usually to work more on discipline than on motivation. Because motivation is a thing that's fragile, sometimes just not there, it can be affected by many things. But discipline is a rock solid thing. So if you do have discipline, if you do have a routine, you definitely can count on that. So if you really want to do this on a professional level, then you will need to build up the discipline to make sure that you can draw even on days where you feel like, yeah, I'm having an off day, or I rather be drawing something else, and it's still not easy. Like, I do this shit all the time. Like, yeah, there are just days and I'm like, yeah, no, I really not feeling this today, I keep messing up. And I allow myself a bit of time to just step away from the art, maybe do something else, do a bit of gaming, reading, or just draw something that I want to draw for my own sake. But at the same time, I can't allow that to take over everything, because I still have these pages to draw, I still have the commissions to finish, I still have everything. So in the end, I have to remind myself that you want to do this for a living, then do it like you're doing it for a living. So discipline is very, very, very crucial. At the same time, there are things you can do to prevent burnout. Funnily enough, one of the things for me was actually starting Kill Shot. Last summer, I was in a very, very low emotional spot for various reasons. And yeah, I just couldn't really find it in me to focus on Saigami, to make any progress with it. And I just didn't feel like doing it, and what I tried to rely on discipline, but it just didn't help. So that's when I felt like I really need something more than just Saigami. So I started to doodle. For Kill Shot, I actually had some character artworks from years ago. At first I just started to work on those to relieve some stress, and then I was like, I'm actually really enjoying this, and I actually really want to work on this story because it is very special to me on a personal level. It's a story that's important and I really want to tell. So yeah, I was focusing on this story, and it really did help move me out from the emotional rut. So yeah, sometimes you just need to do something new and exciting. So that's why we always recommend creators to not to jump into long stories. That's the most common amateur mistake. Everyone coming to us to their game is like, yeah, so I have this story, it's gonna be like One Piece and it's gonna be like 70 plus volumes, but it's gonna be awesome. And that's just bullshit because no one will draw it. And we have so many amateurs. Yeah, I can do this, and it's like, no, just do the math. Like, even if you release one volume per year, which is still very hard to do when you don't have assistants and you're not working in a crazy schedule like the Japanese, which is obviously breaking them because you can see many Jump creators having breaks occasionally because they just can't keep it up. So yeah, even then it will take you like 70 plus years, so you really don't want that. And even if it's just not about the math and the time, you will burn out within a few years if you're just stuck with the same story. We see that from time to time with creators at Saturday as well. So yeah, it's a very hard thing to do. Like the same way as it will be your job. Of course, it's the job you enjoy if you're doing it the right way. But at the same time, going to the same job, or if you're still in school, I don't know, going to the same club or whatever. I don't know, but for the same job, they say that it's recommended to switch your job like every 5 or 6 years tops, because it's just not healthy to stick to the very same thing for so many years. The same goes for stories. In 5, 6, 10 years, you will just burn out from the story. You will get bored, you won't find it that exciting. You will see more of your mistakes as an amateur creator or a weaker storyteller. So yeah, I'm warning everyone about that. Don't jump into anything long, because trust me, you very likely that you won't be able to finish up, because it's just very hard to just stick to the very same thing, even if you're very passionate about it right now. It's just overwhelming. So yeah, that was uplifting. I think it's just the truth. Like, I think these are the things that people should talk about more, because everyone is always just seeing this sparkly, rainbowy, pink, fluffy Bakuman dreams, but no one really talks about the actual burnout of creators. How hard is it to do it regularly, especially when you're just doing it but you don't actually see that much success from it, and it's just hard to do. So yeah, just think about these things. So yeah. Daily fun thoughts from Sunny. Spade, if I had to put it in as little words as possible, Family is like a manga but in novel form. It's long, but I'm having fun with it and it doesn't really feel like work at the end of the day. Yeah, that's a good thing, and every new project is like that. But yeah, be very cautious with the length of the story, because it's not about just the readers. The readers will lose interest on long term as well, but the creators themselves can really, really easily burn out. Even if you feel like, I will never burn out from this story. I felt that way with Saigami, and it was legit hard to go back to actually writing Saigami, and I really needed something else to move me out of that mindset and that emotional state. So yeah, I warned everyone. Try to epic. Do you guys have a Clip Studio template? But Clip Studio has a lot of templates that you can use. This is a template we use for tanks, so I'm not sure if it's a public thing or not. Our creators are getting it. Like, I sent it up to my interns last year and the new creators who joined us, but I'm not sure if it's a public thing, so I don't know. But different publishers will have, or print houses will have different guidelines and margins depending on what bleed they are working on, depending on the paper size. So this template might not be ideal for everyone. Like, this is for the tank version or the tank size of our books. You know, some manga are smaller than that, some graphic novels are bigger than that, so it highly depends on the printing format as well. Leoneki Johnny, I see. Thank you. I guess I need a little eye opener. Maybe I do it in a normal pace or do another story that won't take things too long. Maybe a one shot or something. Yeah, I definitely recommend, especially if you're a first time creator, just start with a short story. Because a short story will be hard enough to do at first, but it will teach you so much. But at the same time, you won't have the commitments as with the series. Like, if you go up to Webtoon, Stephastics, all of these book comic sites, you will see thousands of comics that are started, maybe made the first chapter, maybe a few more, and it just stops and never ends. Like, I swear to God, 90% of webcomics are just up on the net and they are not finished because the creators just burn out, life comes, and they just never ever finish it. And that's super sad. And yeah, it's so much better to start with the short submissions for creators. We always ask if they ever published anything, be it, you know, just online or with the publisher. And yeah, it will get you way more results to show that, yeah, I have this short story or I completed this 3-chapter story. Not just, yeah, I started a webcomic like 10 years ago, I draw a page a week, but it's never gonna end, it's never going anywhere. So focus on short stories at first. So crucial. Like, I really wish I had known all of this when I started out, but I was young, because that could have been so much more helpful. So yeah, definitely focus on something short. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a pilot chapter or just a short story. If you feel like you want something that's a bit more, like, do like something that's 3 chapters, something that's 100 pages, or something that's just 1 volume, like 200 pages if you feel like 30 or 50 pages are restricting you. But definitely start out with something short and not something that's just 30 volumes, because just think about it. Even if you do one a year, which is still very hard, that's 30 years. I'm 30 years old and yeah, just do the math. So yeah. Try to epic I meant for the book cutting. I got this one like years ago, like 3 years ago when we first started to work on the first volume. And unfortunately, a few weeks back I did burn out while working on Fenrir, but after climbing that mountain, I have been reignited and I'm more than ready to work on this bad boy. Hey, good luck! Yeah, you know, sometimes it's more just like a roadblock and you can find your motivation again easily, but sometimes it's just harder, so yeah. Different fiction idea I had about a future society and dimensional travel and such. I was young and I can imagine so many copywriting fragments being thrown at me if it was real. Well, yeah, you know, everyone starts out like that. Like, my first stories that I created were basically Digimon spin-off, because I was super into Digimon, and there was a Dragon Ball spin-off we used to write with my cousin as well. So yeah, I think everyone just starts out with their own fandoms. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, there are novel writers out on the market or comic artists who started out with fan arts and fan fiction. And I know it's not the best example because I hate the book with a passion, but for example, 50 Shades of Grey, which we know became like a global phenomenon in the movies, and it was a bestseller for some reason. But you know, that started out as a Twilight fanfic, so yeah, anything can happen. So there's nothing wrong with starting out like that, as long as you know it's just a fanwork. The real problem is when people are thinking that they are so original, but it's just all fanboyism, and they just creating their own version of Dragon Ball or Naruto and things like that, and they really can't separate things in their minds. So yeah. Blackout, is $80 too much to spend on your first tablet? Is it a... I guess if it's $80, it's a non-display tablet. I would say 80 is a pretty good price. You can get cheaper now. Like, I honestly am not too sure about the prices of non-display tablets right now, but 80 sounds like a solid mid-brand. Yeah, if it's your first tablet, I would say go for something that's not the most expensive, but at the same time not the cheapest, because you still want a good experience with it. I know Huion has some really good non-display tablets. XP Pen with their new Deco models, they also have this ring and all that stuff, so those are really good. There's always Wacom, but both Huion and XP Pen pretty much reach the level Wacom can provide, so yeah, I think $80 is a pretty decent starting price. Leon and Nikki, yeah, well, my series last update was on episode 5. Yep. Blackout, I found a $170 tablet for 80 from Huion. Oh yeah, then definitely go for it. That's like a really good deal then. And yeah, Huion is pretty much the leading brand after Wacom. Like, there's like Wacom here, there's Huion, there's XP Pen. XP Pen and Huion are very close. Like, when it comes to the display tablets, I feel like XP Pen is better than Huion. Now, I never used a Huion tablet, but I'm always watching a bunch of reviews because I just enjoy that. You know, girl can dream. But yeah, Huion is really out there and pretty much closing the gap with Wacom. So that sounds like a really good deal. Leoniki Johnny, but yeah, I need to do something to get my gears grinding again. Alright, thank you. I'll be sure to get myself on through this. Good luck to you too. Well, yeah, absolutely. I hope I could help. I know these are things that not everyone wants to hear, but I think it's very important to talk about these things. Because, yeah, doing comics is not always this romanticized, wonderful thing to do. Like, it's work. So yeah, I'm always happy to share my experiences. I have plenty of them. So yeah, I'm always happy if I can be a bit eye-opening for people who also want to do this. Because I really wish someone would have told me all about this when I started out, because I definitely would have done things differently. The Reaper of Crows. Has anyone in the magazine ever planned out their stories for the most part? And I'm taking like main plot points and stuff. As far as I know, Apple Black is pretty much planned out. Like, why have we been talking about that? Now for the rest of the series, Hammer is definitely planned out. Like, yeah. Hammer is pretty much planned out. We had this conversation with Jay, and he had this idea of the arcs being a volume, And yeah, so I think he has it planned out pretty well. For the rest of our creators, I honestly can't say much because I'm not talking to our other creators like that on that level. So everyone is working on their own series with their own editors. I'm not sure. Like, different creators work differently. Honestly, I'm not even sure how long each series and story is planned to be honest, apart from mine. Now, I've been working with a few creators, for example, with Ricky, who's doing Atlas Article, which is one of our newer series. And you know, it's important to plan out like later story points to know where your story is heading. So when we had our meetings, we made sure that we have an idea where the story is going and have something that, yeah, this will be the main goal for the story, for the characters. This is a good point to shut down the story. But the gap between the starting point and the end point is pretty loose because, you know, if a series is doing good, then you might want to add some more content. But if it's not doing that well, then you still can wrap it up sooner, faster. So yeah, I think it's a good thing to keep things flexible. I personally prefer to keep things flexible myself. Like I have all of the major plot points in Saigami. I had them, you know, written 10 years ago, and as I was reapproaching the story, like 7, 10, 15 years later, I was like, this is bullshit. Like I really don't feel like this stands as a story anymore. So I was just like, I'm just gonna shout all these story elements. I'm gonna keep that and that and that, and I'm gonna create something new there. So I prefer to play around with my stories, because yeah, you will grow as a creator, as a storyteller. You will see things differently as you go. So it's a good thing to keep things flexible. Now with a shorter story, you can plan out everything ahead because it's that much easier than handling a longer story. But yeah, I think it's best if you can leave a bit of a room for the story to breathe, because it can be that, you know, inspiration finds you and you're like, oh my god, I came up with this so cool idea for my story, and you're like, yeah, I have no room for it. So yeah, plan ahead, but just, you know, just put down the foundation, but don't tie your own hands. William Ramos, I got the artistic pen 15.6 and it is awesome. Yep, I absolutely agree on that. I had that as my first drawing display as well, and I absolutely loved it. So yeah, definitely can recommend the XP pen. Right now what I'm using is also an XP pen tablet. It's a smaller model, it's the 13.3. And I'm thinking about the sound. Press the right hand going up, so yeah, okay. Spade, I hate to admit, but I got started writing with fanfiction and the like, and I'm not really proud or embarrassed about it. If it wasn't for it, I wouldn't be a writer I am now. Yeah, it's, you know, absolutely fine. Like I said, pretty much everyone starts out with fan creation, with fan art, fanfiction. So there's no shame in that. Everyone starts somewhere. If you think about it, the big masters, back in the day, painters, they did the very same thing. They used to copy each other's artwork, and yeah, they used to do the same paintings. They used to study each other. So that was basically fan art back in the day. So nothing to be ashamed about that. The Reaper of Crows. That's interesting. Apple Black feels like it's going way too fast, but Hammer is paced more at a normal rate, not a total shade. Yeah, and you know, if you have read the new chapter pack for Apple Black, it is actually slowing down the pacing a bit, gave more of an introduction to the characters, more of a world building, so yeah, that addition chapters did a great service to the story in my opinion, because yeah, it was a great addition to the story. Here. Let's see, where was I? GG 1954. Do my homework or watch stream? Watch stream. Oops. I'm not taking responsibility for anybody's homework, so. The Reaper of Crows. I definitely thought of main plot points for my story while making connects of reading points. My favorite part about writing so far is piecing everything together. It's like baking a cake. Yeah, that's yeah, that feels kind of like. Yeah, it's I find it myself very exciting when everything just comes together and it feels so satisfying. Yeah, things have been building up to this point, and then the big picture that just comes together, and that can be such a satisfying feeling. I really like that too. Sometimes it's trickier, especially when it comes to like transition scenes and things like that, transition events. I'm feeling better. But you know, different writers, artists, creators will have different methods to work on their stories. So the important part is to find a way that works best for you. Try to epic. I made a DBZ fan manga once. It was ugly, but I had to do it to get out of my system and to learn. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's, you know, it's a start. Especially if you learn in the process, then it's totally worth it. Plus, as long as you're aware that this is just a fan thing, you'll be fine. But yeah, there are many creators out there who are like, I'm doing this, but it's just a complete rip-off. William Ramos, how many layers do you use when starting to complete? It's a good question. It depends on the complexity of the page or artwork. As you can see, I have a frame folder for... let me zoom out a bit. So I have a frame folder for all of the panels. Now some panels require more layers. For example, this one has like 4 layers. I usually like to keep the speech bubbles on a separate layer. Like for example, for this one, this was the layer for the speed bubbles. This was the layer for the effect in the background. This was the layer for the character art, and I did the hair on a separate layer. So yeah, that's what I usually do. I have one layer for the majority of the character artwork. When it comes to more complicated hair, I usually keep my hair on a different layer so I can make easier corrections. I often do my shading on a different layer, and different layers for the backgrounds and sound effect. So yeah, it depends. Now, given how many panels are on a page, that could be a lot of layers. So yeah, plus these are the layers for my sketches. I basically copy-pasted the sketches from my storyboard, so these will add up to a number of layers. Of course, I could merge these into one. But yeah, usually per panel I have anything between like 2 to 6 layers. So yeah, it really depends on the type of artwork and the page. For this one here, I'm gonna be extending the sketch. I just need to find which one is that. Here it is. Okay, catch up with the comments though. Savage Beards, my character soon is gonna go from a dirty blonde to an orange-haired brawler. You remember him if you see him. Alrighty. Leoneki Johnny, my way of drafting my story is weird. I started at the end first, then work it up on how everything does and how it all will be connected to the planned finale. And you know, that can work, especially if you're working towards something that needs more planning. Like, there are stories that only work that way. For example, now what comes to my mind, if I'm looking at manga examples, I would say Ad Astra, Lost in Space. It was a short story, it was like 40-some chapters only, but that story, you could feel that it was built up to reach that finale, because all of the subtle hints, all of the twists during the series, you can't do that as you grow up, because everything was hinted right from chapter 1 till the very end. So I absolutely see that story being written as, yeah, the creator had the idea of how it will all end, what's the final big twist, what's the deal with the story, and then everything was planned out from chapter 1 according to that. And you know, that's why it's important to have certain plot elements laid down in the early phase, because yeah, if you want to have like certain plot twists, or you want to make some hints or foreshadowing, then you need to know what will happen, of course. So yeah, it's not a bad strategy, especially if it's something shorter. I think if it's something longer, then it makes it trickier. But that's why it's better to work on shorter stuff. Jordan Man, what do you think of One Punch Man? I think the artwork is really good. And I read a couple chapters. I was at first like, oh, this is sort of fun, and then got bored of it very, very quickly. So the artwork is incredible. The story just lost its freshness very fast, and it really couldn't keep me entertained on the longer term. I never watched the anime, so don't know about that. I heard the new season was very lackluster though. Reconius, hey Andrea, long time to talk. How have you been? How are you doing right now? With what with the COVID stuff going on? Well, hello there. Nice to see you here again. It's interesting. The whole quarantine stuff, isolation didn't change my lifestyle that much because I'm doing freelancing. So basically my lifestyle was quarantine all along. So, you know, it's just I'm only noticing that I'm not going out for walks, not going out for groceries and stuff like that. It's stressful though. Not on me on my lifestyle on a personal level. It's stressful to hear from my relatives what's going on back in Hungary. Europe is in a pretty bad situation. People are losing their jobs. Even here, it's affecting our daily lives. But yeah, it's spreading. There are more numbers every day, and I'm kind of freaking out because I have an autoimmune disease. So I'm one of the people who possibly wouldn't make it if they were to get the virus. Not to sound too dramatic or anything, it's sadly the facts. I don't often talk about this, but for example, my father, who had the same health condition as I do, he lost his life when the H1N1 or swine flu was a thing 10 years ago. So it's nothing to take lightly, and the situation is all too real for me, and it really reminds me of those times from 10 years ago. So it's crazy, it's scary. So yeah, please everyone take it seriously, because you might not be affected on a personal level, but it does affect people in personal life, and it really sucks when you're actually losing a loved one over something like this that could have been prevented if people were more cautious or following the lead or rules or something like that. So I hope that this can be over reasonably soon and that everyone can stay safe. So yeah, it's tough. So yeah, be decent human beings. Stay at home if you can. If you can't, stay strong. And yeah, do wash your hands and be cautious. Wow, this is an uplifting stream, guys. I'm sorry. And now I'm getting the cough, but I swear I don't have it. Yeah. I think the whole situation is kind of affecting the mood, so usually my streams are more like upbeat and stuff like that, but yeah. I need to do more streams where we can just focus on the fun stuff and create fun things. So yeah, William Ramos, what resolution you use for your canvas? For comic pages I use 600 dpi, and for artworks I usually go with 300 just to make sure my laptop doesn't crash on me. But for pages I prefer to go with 600 dpi. 300 isn't bad either. Like the majority of the pages in Saigami Volume 1 were only 300 dpi because I was doing them traditionally, and the scanner I had at that time could only scan up to like 300 dpi. And I'm not saying the quality is bad, but it's better if you have something bigger to work on. You can still resize it, rescale it if it's needed. Like I do resize these pages for the magazine because we're trying to keep the file size small for the magazine to make sure it's easy to download and it won't fill up your phone or your device when you download it. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I prefer to stick with 600. Oh my god, I will butcher your name, sorry. Wait-rebuke? Sure, I'm sorry. Do you have any tips for writing dialogue? I have trouble writing it since I have to keep writing he said and she said all the time. It gets boring. Well, I'm kind of in an easier situation because I'm working on comics, so I don't have to worry about he said, she said. But I actually read Stephen King's book called On Writing, where he was touching this topic. And don't worry about it getting boring, because it's still better to just keep it simple and go with the he said, she said, Bob said, Mary said, than try to keep it fancy and exciting, and the blonde one said, the maiden with the raven head said, and you know, you see bullshit like that in fanfics, and not just in fanfics, in so many novels as well. And that's just horrible writing right there. So don't feel bad about keeping it simple, even if it's more repetitive. Just stick to the basics, and sometimes the less is way more. So yeah, if you're writing and you feel like you're having trouble with these things, I highly recommend this book. Once again, it's Stephen King's On Writing, because it's really good. You know, he really knows how to write. So I found that advice very interesting. So yeah, just focus on keeping it simple, and of course, you know, read many books, and you will see a bunch of great examples. I've seen novels lately play around with the time of the writing. So instead of he said, she said, it's like he says, she says. So everything is in the present. Or there are books that are actually skipping the part where we know who's speaking, which can be confusing, but it can be still done. So yeah, it's an interesting question. And once again, I'm not necessarily a writer, so I can only rely on things I actually read myself or my opinion. but yeah, don't worry about that too much, I think. The Reaper of Crows, One Punch Man is interesting. I like the original webcomic and I like the redrawn manga that everyone knows. Apparently parts of the redrawn version are edited a bit by Yusuke Murata. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I never read the original one, only read the new version, because I really like Yusuke Murata's art style. So it's really an eye candy. Reaper of Crows, which should explain why some people find this free escalation is boring. Okay, that's interesting. The manga artist. Hello, Mrs. Andrea. You, Sensei Odin, has helped me a lot. For that, I thank you. You're welcome. I'm happy if I can help. The Reaper of Crows. Oh wow, sorry to hear about your father, Sammy. Yeah, it is what it is. I didn't mean to bring down the mood or anything, so yeah, it's just, yeah. Reconius, thinking of you, praying. Yeah, it's definitely a real problem. Yeah, it is no joke, so I think it's crucial that people are taking it seriously, because we can now see what happened to countries that didn't take it seriously at first. China, Italy, the US, and countries who are taking the right steps early on definitely are now better situated. So, you know, just stay home, stay safe if you can. Leonie Kijoni, I got everything planned out and we'll start line arting some of the drafted pages. I need to sleep now, it's 7 AM. Oh wow. Good luck, take care, and work on everyone. Peace. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and sleep well, I guess. Yeah, good luck with your own project. I probably will do a bit more inking and then I will wrap this out. Like, I know usually my streams are a bit longer than this. at the same time, it's kind of getting late here too, and honestly, I'm starting to get hungry. So definitely need to make some supper soonish. The Reaper of Crows. Oh, on a lighter note, can I tell you a cool fact with narwhals, Sunny? Oh yeah. Absolutely. We do love narwhals here. And honestly, I don't know much about them, so yeah. Probably any facts will be news for me. Username that I can't read properly. Yuk? I don't know, I'm sorry. I have no idea how to pronounce your name. But yeah. Thank you. Now that my only writing obstacle is gone, I will write and finish my story. I will still get the book though, but for now I will draw while I watch your stream. Well, I'm really happy I could help, and yeah, I can only recommend the book. And if you feel like you're stuck with something with your writing, just try to push through it and then go back later and edit it. Like, first just focus on finishing up writing and then, leave it for a bit. I do that with my storyboards, my artworks, with my writing as well. At first just get everything down on paper and then leave it there for a bit and then come back to it, and you will see things in a different light, and it's so much easier to make edits at the second try. So yeah, it's better to come back to something later than just dwell on a problem. Oh, the River Crows. Did you know their horn isn't actually a horn? It's a tooth. Is it April 1st yet? Like, that feels surreal. How? I have so many questions right now. For real? I think you just blew my mind right now. Tooth. Okay. I will need time for that. The manga artist, Mrs. Andrea, I have a question as manga comic artist. How is it working at Saturday AM? And I'm the artist and story writer of my own series. How will I know that my art style is improving? Okay, so working at Saturday AM is fun. We have very exciting meetings. No, really, it's I love working for Saturday AM. It's hard. It's very, very hard work. It's very challenging. Many times it's not as much fun as I would like it to be, because drawing comics is just hard. But I absolutely love working with Saturday AM and being with the crew, being with the family. Yeah, but at the same time, it's hard work. We're having a lot of meetings there. All of our creators are reminded on a constant basis that yeah, it's work. We gotta work hard, and not all of the work is the sexy kind of work. Everyone just wants to draw comics, draw their own stuff, stories, fan arts, fancy artworks, but they're just it's like an iceberg. That's just the tip that's above the water. But underneath there's a way bigger chunk that's a lot of tedious work, and it's not the fun kind of work. So So yeah, there's that. It's quite challenging. And admittedly, I might or might not be complaining about things every now and then, or feel overwhelmed, or things like that, or not take part actively enough. But at the same time, I really love being with Saturday AM, and I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for Saturday AM. So yeah, I definitely do not regret it, and it's actually incredible to see all the things we achieved, all the reactions, and now we do have the app, which is, by the way, get the app, it's free. Just go to your iPhone store, Apple Store, iStore, what is it called? I don't know. Whatever. If you're an Apple user, you know it. So where you get your apps, or Google Store or Kindle Store, and you can get the Saturday AM app for free, and you can read the latest issues of Saturday AM for free, and some other content, some back issues from free. And you can also subscribe and enjoy all of our back issues on a Saturday PM issues. Brunch will be available through the app. So yeah, there's the app, and it was incredible to see the reactions to that, and I'm so proud of everyone at Saturday AM, and we have the creators who are always on display, but there are so many people working hard behind the scene who don't really receive the fanfare. The editors, the designers, the writers, and they are doing their hardest with every issue. And I'm just incredibly proud of our team, our little family. So yeah, I'm really happy to be part of Saturday AM, and I'm super excited about all the things that we have in store coming for you. It's gonna blow your minds. Yes, for your style, you will see it. Like now, too many people are seeking super fast improvements. It's not something that will happen overnight, so you have to be patient with yourself. Some people can improve faster, some people learn faster, just like with everything else. Some people are slower. I myself tend to be on the slower side. So yeah, I know it can be frustrating when you feel like you're just stuck and you see someone who's way younger than you doing so much better and so much faster with improving. But you just keep doing it, focus on you, only compare yourself to yourself or who you were the day before, or a year before, or 10 years before, and then you will see that improvement. But don't necessarily change it. Like, as long as you keep drawing and look for possibilities and ways to make your work better, you will have that progress and improvement, even if you feel like you're stuck. just give yourself time. The Reaper of Crows. It also has a lot of nerve endings, and some can even have 2 tasks. Huh. Now we're reaching like a Pokemon around here. If it evolves, it will have 2 tasks. The username that I can't read. The name is not my real name, so don't worry about it. I will change it soon. Okay, that will be much appreciated. Winged Dragon YP, hello, well, hello. Search Mirror's forehead tooth. Yeah, it's weird. The Reaper of Crows, yeah, narwhals really are the unicorns of the sea. Their tusked tooth is so powerful as it acts like a horn. Evolution is beautiful. Oh yeah, I see. I did not see this fact coming, that's for sure. William Ramos, did you had a hard time going from paper to digital, and how long did it took for you to adjust? It was hard at first, yes. Like if you go back to my old videos or drive since, I was swearing that I will never switch to digital completely because I was just so hooked on traditional, so comfortable with it. And honestly, I never could get used to non-display drawing tablets. I used to have several drawing tablets. I had some Genius tablets, and after that I switched to a Wacom Intubes, a large model, so it was quite big, and it was like Wacom, so it was a high-end tablet. And I could never get the eye-hand coordination right. I just couldn't do it. My hand is drawing here and my eyes are up there, and it was just a struggle. I was working with those tablets. I was like, yeah, I will never ever switch to digital completely. And then I got my first pen display, which was the Pen 15.6, the older model. And suddenly everything felt different. I actually have a complete video on this, where I'm talking that actually it was a really good thing to happen to me, and after a while I came to realize that maybe traditional art was holding me back, and suddenly everything is just so much easier. And with some time, of course, I still had to get used to it, getting used to different softwares, different tools, but all in all, switching to digital surely was a blessing for me, because it's just less stressful, gives me more option, and way cheaper. It's just a one-time investment to buy the tablet and the software that you're working with. Whereas, buying paper, buying ink, buying all the stuff was quite expensive. And yeah, someone's alarm is going off in the parking lot, so I'm sorry about the noise. And I guess it's auto-saving. So yeah, if you're interested more in depth, I would recommend you to check out my video. It's somewhere in my channel. It's switching to digital but traditional holding me back is the title of the video. If you scroll down a bit, you will find it. I think I did it like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years now. But I'm going pretty in depth with that. So yeah. That sounds lovely. The manga artist, Mrs. Andrea, my cover, it will take time, and I'm really willing to put in the work, and I'm focusing on me, and I feel great. I built a fan base, becoming a somewhat known artist, manga artist, but I also see this one manga artist as a rival, and I want to catch up to him badly. Any advice? Go for it. Like, honestly, if you have someone who you're looking up to, and you feel like they are your rival, then try your best to reach the level that you think is good enough to be on equal grounds with them. I think it's nice to have artists like that. For me, it definitely is White, because even before Saturday AM, I've seen him on YouTube. He actually took part in several competitions on YouTube, like cartoon block, drawing contests, some smaller ones. I can't remember, but I know that's how I got to know White. We never really talked, maybe commented on a few stuff or something. I can't even remember, to be honest. But yeah, I definitely was like, this guy is this guy is really good, and I really was looking up to him even on an early stage. So yeah, I felt like that. Yeah, he's sort of like my Nizuma Eiji, and it's super fun because now we're co-workers. It's Saturday AM, and yeah, it's not about trying to best the other or being better than them or anything like that. It's about making sure that we are both doing our best to make Saturday AM the best possible. So yeah, it's different artists have different roles. But if you feel like you need a rival to motivate yourself, do your best and try to reach their level. So yeah. So it's been like almost 2 hours now since we started. Like I said, I probably won't finish inking this during the live stream because I'm getting really hungry now here. Plus I'm kind of losing my voice. But yeah, like I mentioned, I plan to do more live streams that are just silent streams, so you will be able to see me draw on the screen, but I won't be talking, there won't be music, so you can have whatever you want in the background. But yeah, if you want to be more updated on those, I do have a Discord server where I will announce these streams, as well as my Instagram and my Twitter. So yeah, and the usual. If you want to read my stuff, go to the Saturday AM app where you can read the updated version of Saigami Volume 1, or go to the homepage where you can read the old version of the first 3 chapters. Volume 1 and 2 are available worldwide in print or ebook format. Right now probably the ebook is better because I don't know if Amazon ships anywhere anymore or what's going on, but digital content is always available. And I also do have a Patreon where I post a bunch of behind the scenes stuff, early access to my stuff, pages, sketches, VIPs, my rants, fan arts, everything. I do have some higher tiers which include private tutoring, so if you really want to get my opinion on your artwork, writing, story, get a private tutoring session with me, that's an option through my Patreon. I do have commissions open right now via my Gumroad store, so if you're interested, there is an option as well. And yeah, check out March of Madness because it is really good this year. I already have my favorites, so I will be really interested to see who wins this round or who will be the finalist from each group. And yeah, you will be able to find all of the links and important information in the video description below, just like the usual. So yeah, special thanks to my supporters on Patreon because they are awesome. And yeah, I hope to do more of these streams. And thank you very much for joining me today. It was a fun time, even though I might not have been so upbeat as my usual. And it is what it is. So I still hope you had a great time and enjoyed your stuff with me, or just watching or doing anything else. So yeah, I really need to just shut up and then stream. I can never end my videos on quick notes. So yeah, once again, thank you very much for joining me. And I see you soon in my next video. Bye guys!